Janison, a formidable 13th tier expert, found himself resorting to using full force against Xiao Tian just to save his own life. However, his powerful strike not only failed to harm Xiao Tian but also resulted in the complete shattering of his own arm. Janison cried out in pain, collapsing in front of Xiao Tian. Confused, Janison couldn't comprehend the situation. Xiao Tian, seemingly an ordinary person with no cultivation, not only remained unscathed but also caused the severe injury to Janison. Observing the scene, Xiao Tian looked at the writhing Janison and remarked, "You're quite peculiar. What's the meaning of intentionally hurting yourself for no reason?" When Janison looked up, he saw no trace of injury on Xiao Tian's throat. Despite putting all his strength into the attack, not only did his blood blade disintegrate, but his hand also broke, leaving Xiao Tian unharmed. The other team members were equally horrified, questioning how an ordinary person without any apparent vitality could possess such a robust physique. Suddenly, a black shadow enveloped their surroundings, and when they turned, Zhong Yangming had already appeared before them. Zhong Yangming scolded them, "Why are you distracted during the battle?" Meanwhile, Xiao Tian, with curiosity on his face, asked, "Are you a body cultivator?" Janison, twitching at the corners of his mouth and hurriedly retreating, couldn't comprehend how he failed to avoid such a simple action as Xiao Tian spitting fruit peels onto him. As Janison retreated, he landed, his face stained with fruit peels. He slowly turned, facing Xiao Tian, who had mysteriously appeared beside him. Xiao Tian, wearing a curious expression, asked why Janison was ignoring him, while Janison, realizing the simplicity of the situation, couldn't fathom how he couldn't avoid such an action. Janison was certain that Xiao Tian wasn't an ordinary person, his strength must be formidable. However, Xiao Tian emitted no aura of cultivation, resembling an enigmatic abyss. Realizing this, Janison abruptly reached into his own chest, pulling out a fiery red crystal. As soon as the crimson crystal appeared, it ignited, turning into a ball of fire. The blood on it instantly evaporated, leaving behind a translucent red fruit. Despite its seemingly pristine appearance, it harbored a tremendous and scorching power that continued to emanate. The team members who had been knocked to the ground nearby frantically shouted, begging their captain not to proceed. Janison, with a calm smile, gazed at his surrounding teammates and declared, "Now, there's no way for us to return alive. The best course of action is to die together with them." Even an 18th tier expert would undoubtedly perish when exposed to the explosive power of the blood ignition crystal at such close range. Janison, somewhat amused, looked at Xiao Tian and admitted, "You're indeed powerful, but it's futile." However, before he could finish his sentence, he realized that the blood ignition crystal in his hand had disappeared. Holding the crystal, Xiao Tian looked at Janison and asked, "Do you think this is dangerous?" Janison, with a terrified expression, watched as Xiao Tian swallowed the blood ignition crystal in one gulp. Janison was so shocked that his eyes almost popped out. The next moment, a muffled explosion resounded from Xiao Tian's abdomen. Then, Janison saw Xiao Tian open his mouth, and red smoke billowed out from his throat. Xiao Tian found the sensation quite pleasurable, akin to the burn of strong liquor, and believed it provided a unique and invigorating warmth to his internal organs. Expressing his delight, Xiao Tian looked at Janison and exclaimed, "This thing is fantastic. Do you have more? Give me another 100. Janison, bewildered, exclaimed, "The explosion of the blood ignition crystal would kill all living beings within 100 miles. How does it turn into a unique-tasting spiritual stone in his mouth?" Originally planning to use the blood ignition crystal to die together with Xiao Tian, Janison's perfect plan was shattered by Xiao Tian's unexpected actions.